Growing up, my mom was my hero. She raised me and my little sister all on her own after my dad left when I was just a baby. We didn't have much, but she made sure we always felt loved. Our house was small, a two-bedroom place at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac. But it was home. Things started to change after Mom got sick. At first, it was just little things, forgetting where she left her keys or mixing up dates. Then it got worse. Sometimes she'd stare off into space, like she was listening to something I couldn't hear. The doctors couldn't figure it out. They said it might be early onset dementia, but that didn't explain the strange behavior that followed. One night, I woke up to the sound of footsteps in the hallway. I figured it was Mom checking on my sister, but then I heard her whispering, almost chanting. I crept out of my room and saw her standing in the dark, facing the wall. She was mumbling something I couldn't understand. When I called her name, she didn't respond. I touched her shoulder, and she snapped out of it, blinking like she didn't know where she was. The next morning, she didn't remember any of it. I tried to convince myself it was just sleepwalking, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. Over the next few weeks, Mom's episodes became more frequent. Sometimes I'd catch her staring at herself in the bathroom mirror, whispering. Other times, she'd just stand at the window, watching the empty street for hours. One night, I woke up to my sister crying. I rushed to her room and found Mom standing over her bed, her hands clenched into fists, whispering those same unintelligible words. I pulled her away, and she looked at me like I was a stranger. I asked her what she was doing, but she just said, I was protecting her. That night, I locked my bedroom door. I couldn't sleep, terrified of what might happen next. Around 3 a.m., I heard scratching at the door, soft at first, then harder, like someone was scraping their nails against the wood. I didn't move. I just sat there, holding my breath until it finally stopped. The next day, I found scratches all over the door, long, jagged marks like claw marks. I knew I had to do something. I reached out to my aunt, who reluctantly agreed to take us in for a while. When I told Mom, she didn't argue. She just stared at me, almost as if she was relieved. That night was the worst. I woke up to hear Mom sobbing. I peeked into the living room and saw her on the floor, curled up and shaking, whispering, "Leave me alone, please. Leave my kids alone." I wanted to comfort her, but I was too scared. I just watched, frozen in place. The next morning, Mom seemed better. She even made breakfast like she used to. But when I asked about the night before, she just gave me a blank look. Before we left for my aunt's, I found something that still haunts me. A notebook in Mom's room, filled with scribbles. The same phrase over and over, "She's coming back." It's been years since that night, and I still don't know what really happened. Mom's episode stopped after we moved in with my aunt, and eventually she seemed to return to her old self. But sometimes, when I visit her, I catch her staring into the mirror, and I can't help but wonder if whatever took hold of her that year is really gone. I couldn't ignore it anymore. I started digging into our family history, talking to distant relatives, and searching through old family records. I learned about my grandmother, who passed away when Mom was just a child. There were rumors that she was involved in something dark, an old folk ritual meant to bind spirits. My grandmother believed she had called something into their house, something that had attached itself to her bloodline. The more I researched, the more I realized that whatever my grandmother had done hadn't died with her. It had found my mom. I didn't know how to protect her, but I couldn't let whatever it was take her away from me. Desperate, I reached out to an old friend of my grandmother's who still lived in the town where Mom grew up. When I visited, the old woman didn't seem surprised when I told her about Mom's strange behavior. She just nodded, muttering something about a restless mother and how it was bound to happen. That night, I placed the pendant under Mom's pillow, hoping it would help. The next morning, she seemed different, calmer, almost peaceful. I thought it was finally over, but later that evening, as I was packing up to leave, I found the pendant shattered on the floor, and Mom's voice echoed from the hallway. She never left. It's been weeks since that night, and Mom's been acting normal again. But I know better. Sometimes I catch her staring at me with that same cold, unfamiliar look. And when I ask if she's okay, she just smiles and says, "Everything's fine." But I can't shake the feeling that whatever was haunting her is still there, just waiting for the right moment to come back.